Here I have an equation, and it looks like it's not quadratic because I have a degree 3 here as my highest degree term. So this is going to be a cubic equation. But my guess is when I try to factor this, it's going to behave like a quadratic. So let's go ahead and see what I can do here. And yes, I'm going to use factoring on this, so I need to have all my terms on one side of the equal sign, and they need to equal 0. So I'm going to go ahead and push this 10x over the left side, and I'm going to put them on the left side because that's where my highest degree term is positive. So 10x cubed plus 48x squared minus 10x equals 0. Okay, so I'm going to look for a greatest common factor that I can pull out of all three of these terms, and it looks like I can pull a 2x out. So what I'm left with is 5x squared plus 24x minus 5. Which, yes, now I am left with this quadratic. So even though my initial terms, I had a high degree term here of x cubed, which made this a cubic equation, but I was able to factor out that x, and I was left with this quadratic. So I'm going to use the AC method to factor this, and this will go down to 25x and a minus x. And that equals 0. So let's go ahead and factor by grouping. So I can pull a 5x out of here, and I'm left with x plus 5, it looks like. And I can pull a negative 1 out of here, and again left with x plus 5. So my x plus 5 for leftovers are the same. So x plus 5 here, and then 5x and a minus 1 will be my other one, and I can't forget my 2x, which was my greatest common factor at the beginning that I pulled out. So I'm going to bring him down as well. Now I have 1, 2, 3 factors that are all being multiplied that give me 0. So my 0 property of multiplication tells us that if we have a bunch of stuff being multiplied and equals 0, well, then at least one of these factors has to be 0. So I'm going to kind of accommodate for all of them, and I'm going to set each one of these factors equal to 0, and then solve each one of these equations independently. So this gives me an x equals 0, and remember, when you have a greatest common factor that includes a variable, it will always give me a 0. This will give me an x equals negative 5, and this will give me an x equals positive 1/5. So I'm going to have 0, negative 5, and 1/5. And these will be the three solutions for this original cubic equation.